Let's get educated. That's why we're here, to bring you the stories impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses. It's time for a little education.
Hello and welcome, everyone. I am Katie Pedrick, joined by that man, David Fiorazzo. Now, as many of you know, and if you don't know by now, this is your last chance to know. Our 2023 live courses at FreedomProject Academy, it's our K-12 classical online school. It's ending. The enrollment is ending.
Gasp.
Gasp. You have one more chance. You have until Friday, July 21st. So what have you been waiting for? This is it now. Go to freedomforschool.com to check out everything that we have to offer and get your children enrolled right now. Again, that's freedomforschool.com.
This is it. Sorry.
You're going with this is it? I was going to go, it's a final countdown.
Oh, okay, that's a good, oh my goodness. That's
all week
classic.
you're hearing it. Now, anyway, Planned Parenthood is offering $150 gift cards and, hey, free lunch to entice the young people to join their week-long sex ed summer camp. That makes perfect sense. Planned Parenthood, sex ed summer camp, and money. Planned Parenthood, sounds about right, yeah.
Sorry to spoil the mood so early in the week, but the population control enthusiasts are pushing this to kids, and it is a summer camp. It entices young people, children, with a $150 gift card and free lunch. We're going to check out a quick video, and we're going to come back and talk about this. Go ahead.
It's essentially Planned Parenthood's comprehensive sex education agenda, which they've tried to mandate for many years through the Minnesota legislature. As I've done some research, here are my top 3 concerns and primary dangers of this sort of instruction. First of all, it breaks down kids' natural inhibitions, just the natural barriers they have that protect them from predators. Secondly, it grooms and conditions them to be sexually active at a very young age, which essentially guarantees that they will be lifelong customers of Planned Parenthood. And thirdly, I think it's critical for parents to know that this camp teaches very explicit instruction in how to perform oral sex, anal sex, and vaginal sex.
It's staggering. It's 30 hours. By the way, they're giving out free lunch. You don't have to pay to go, and they give you a gift card. So they're effectively luring families in to say, hey, we want 30 hours with your kid to talk about sex. Here's the camp that was canceled. Here's what they said about it, by the way, the S'more Summer Camp. They said, thank you so much for your interest in S'more Summer Camp. We appreciate the time you took to apply. Unfortunately, we were not successful in recruiting enough 13-year-olds to run the camp. Well, participants have run the camp and are making the difficult decision to cancel S'more this summer. So they couldn't get enough adults to run the camp, and therefore 13-year-olds won't be trapped.
Okay, key point here. Planned Parenthood they're evil, but they are brilliant in their scheme to recruit lifelong customers. So do you understand? I know some of us, don't think along these lines, and how do you reach young children and indoctrinate them and pervert them? But you reach them at the youngest ages. You want to teach them to be sexually active. That's what Planned Parenthood does. Why? Because then if they get an STD, Planned Parenthood offers testing. And if they get a pregnancy, young girl gets pregnant, of course they'll offer to kill the child for that teenager. So they get, they do testing, they get lifelong customers. So it's really amazing that, and not surprising though, that they're trying to reach young kids.
Well, in that mother there, Karen, is finally a Karen that we enjoyed. Yeah. She spoke logically.
6 kids.
Yeah, that's a Karen we can all stand behind.
Yeah.
And we talk about this a lot. Planned Parenthood and the far left, for their grooming of our children, they're not hiding the ball, both metaphorically and unfortunately, literally in some cases, of hiding the balls of the males from what they're doing. They are actively just pushing it out there. Hey, come to camp, kids. We're going to give you money. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you all the information about how to, as they claim, learn about reproduction and all that. And they use the terms that they've always used, but we know exactly what they're doing now because they've been too blazing with it, too bold in their statements. And hopefully now parents' eyes are open to their schemes.
Well, some
yes.
parents.
In Minnesota, they've been pushing this type of stuff for years. It's a blue state.
Well, nationwide.
But
Yeah.
when we think like back in my day, Minnesota, part of the Midwest, but it's the West Coast, East Coast of the Midwest, I guess.
Yeah, it's sad. They're getting to these young kids who are already sexualized because of Hollywood, the entertainment industry, social media, their friends, the games they get on their iPhones, and just the access to pornography, unless you have parental controls on your kids' devices. So they're already sexualized years and years and years sooner than we were, than our grandparents were. And now you say, hey, you're already into sex, kids. Come on, let's have a summer camp. And so kids, of course, they're going to want to be a part of this.
Well, and because it's a summer camp that's not technically a taxpayer funded from the public school thinking way of doing it, the parents don't associate. They don't put it together. It's summer camp. It's somewhere my teenagers can go. Oh, their friends are going. It's free. Jeez. They're going to get free lunch, of course, anytime there's free lunch involved, and they're going to get money. They're not thinking, parents, hopefully they are thinking, but parents aren't thinking like this is dangerous because, like you said, the kids, it's gateway. They've already been introduced to all of it. And so the kids are probably like, yeah, sure. It's probably what we hear about anyway. So
this is, apparently this one was canceled. Is that going to stop or slow the agenda? Absolutely not. Let's just mention some of the topics that you heard in that video that Planned Parenthood and these sex ed summer camps want to cover. Sexual anatomy, birth control methods, of course, abortion, sexually transmitted infections, healthy relationships. Okay, let's stop right there. Who defines healthy relationships, by the way? Consent and more. And then that's according to the sign-up page right there.
Yeah, and so we have one of the camps that got canceled, but the other one's still going. So that's the danger of it.
Okay, so these are the things that we hate, really, we hate to have to talk about. But because there are so many parents that have either been too busy or just not knowing where to look to get this information and what's behind some of these depraved, demonic agendas, that's why we talk about this. So you guys can say, wow, this is a reflection of our society. It's a reflection of a lot of things, our government, entertainment, the church, who has not spoken up against some of this garbage. Did you say cheers to that, Katie?
They haven't.
The church has not spoken up. I think had we not been silent on some of these things decades ago, I don't think it would be as bad today, but maybe that's my optimism coming out. But still to come. Do you remember when visiting a school nurse meant maybe getting a Band-Aid, maybe some aspirin? Well, now, 2 Seattle public schools are offering gender transition services through in-school clinics. So now students can get their hormone shots and wellness exams in the same place. How convenient. We're talking about that next.
Today's episode is brought to you by Freedom Project Academy. Take back your kids' education. FPA's fully accredited classical curriculum provides live, on-demand, and homeschool courses built on Judeo-Christian values. Request your information packet and save 10% on tuition by visiting freedomforschool.com. That's freedom, F-O-R, school.com.
All right, David.
Yes.
Get out your air quotes.
All right.
Here we go.
Ready?
Gender affirming care.
Okay, got it.
That's what it's called when you just lop off healthy breast tissue or, penises and or inject some variation of hormones into children.
You are feisty today.
Here we go. Gender affirming care. And 2 Seattle public schools are all about this. They're all about it. Parents Defending Education obtained public documents about Nova High School and Meany Middle School, which offer on-site health services, including medical and counseling services through Country Doctor Community Health Centers, which is a local nonprofit. It also runs 2 primary care clinics, according to the school's websites. Now, while the school websites don't specify what gender-affirming services they offer in their clinics, we do know what the CDCHC, that's what I just talked about, that they offer cross-sex hormones and referrals for cross-sex surgeries, and they help with obtaining letters of support for those who are seeking such procedures. It says it right there on their website.
Jeez.
Now, the CDCHC does not offer puberty blockers. That's something, but when you're already giving other hormones, why need the puberty blockers when you're already just going to be messing the kids up all hormonally? It's just fine. That's what they do. And David, to your point of what you said before the break there about you used to have a school nurse. I don't feel good. I also have a test in about 30 minutes that I don't want to take. Black lung.
Yeah, I
got a little scratchy something going on. You would go down to the nurse. Back in my day, there was a cot in a little room, and you had to sit on the cot.
Day, even before that.
You sat on the cot, and you were like, "Are you going to call my parents? Are you going to call my parents? Is it going to happen?" Now you go down, and it's probably a big luxury suite because, I mean, I'm guessing if you're going to be shooting kids with hormones and all that other stuff, you're going to make it all dressed to the nines for these kids, right? So they come on in, they lay down, and they're just like, inject me. What? Parents? Don't know them because they don't have to report now.
Well,
in a lot of these schools.
Yeah, Washington State is one state, I believe, where parental consent,
who needs
parents
it?
don't need to know.
Yeah. So anyway, according to the website from the Country Doctor Community Health Centers.
Just that name.
Country Doctor Community Health
it's
Centers.
Country Doctor
The old Country Doctor, you know. Not like back in our day, anyway. They offer gender-affirming care. It's integrated into everyday primary care. So if you're telling me that the school, which uses the Country Doctor, and the Country Doctor already says that they integrate into everyday primary care this whole gender-affirming care, if you're trying to pretend that your kids aren't getting this when they go see the school nurse, you're wrong, because this is what they're doing. So, according to the website, you get your hormones in the same place you get your wellness exams, cancer screenings, and treatment for acute and chronic health conditions. Again, they're not hiding the ball. They're putting it right out there.
Yep.
This is what we do. Parents are too lazy, don't have time. It's every excuse in the book to not connect the dots and see what's actually happening in the schools. Now, according to Seattle Public Schools policy, they have a policy in place that explicitly discourages teachers from disclosing a child's transgender status unless legally mandated to do so, and it encourages the teachers to avoid pronouns when discussing transgender students with parents if they're unsure how the child identifies at home. It's that whole hide the child from the parent situation.
Yeah.
And Parents Defending Education actually found documents that stated this. So it's not like we're just making this up. Now, according to the Nova High School website, they state that the Nova Wellness Center offers no-cost, comprehensive, trauma-informed, and gender-affirming care. Those are two things that you could just put as one, because trauma-informed by getting this gender-affirming care. That's the same thing. They're trying to make it like the gender-affirming care is protecting you from getting the trauma. No. That's what's causing it. Now, they say the Nova Wellness Center, it's conveniently at the school for them to get all this. The Wellness Center is staffed full-time by a clinic administrator, medical providers, and a behavioral health specialist. Again, David.
Okay.
Back in my day, back in your day, was your nurse female?
Probably.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
A nice old lady.
Yep. She was old, too.
Her name was Nurse Noreen.
Yours?
Anyway, yes. She was the nurse for the whole school. That was it.
Yeah.
We weren't full-time staffed by a clinic administrator, medical providers, and a behavioral health
That's a good
specialist.
point.
Because you didn't need that.
Yeah.
That was unnecessary. Because kids were allowed to be kids and didn't get all this junk put into their heads and then have them thinking they have all this trauma and then getting sent down to get hormones injected into them. All while, the parents have no idea. But don't worry, the nurse or the doctor on staff will use the pronouns that you prefer.
And I just want to point out one more thing for those of you that are concerned about medical tyranny or the freedom we have to treat our children or pursue our own health interests. The medical services under that it says vaccines too, so they'll be happy to vaccinate your child. And in some states, you don't have to tell kids, or parents, I mean, about gender affirming care, about vaccines, just, whatever you think they need, right?
Why wait?
Wow.
Vaccinate.
Oh, jeez.
All right. While American kids are being lectured on the pronouns and the gender nonsense, don't worry. 6-year-olds in China are literally preparing for war. We have the receipts. Now we're going to show you some unbelievable images that have been lighting up the social media. Stay with us.
Today's show is sponsored by our friends at MyPillow. Save up to 66% on pristine quality bedding, towels, slippers, signature pillows, and much more when you use the code EDUCATED. That's EDUCATED. Educated. Support this show and a great American company.
We have high schoolers who can't read in this country.
No.
Correct.
Seriously?
We do, yeah. But in China, they don't have time for that. They're too busy training the kindergartners, the 6-year-olds, for war in their boot camps that they are holding.
Well, our kids sure can play video games.
Hey, if you got a
They can
TV
play
and a
those
remote
games.
control,
Yep, they can
will
sure.
take you down. But real warfare, don't worry, China's got that covered.
Well, our military has drag queens trying to recruit.
This is true.
And China's just bringing them up through the ranks.
This is
the
true. We are
kids.
Rachel Levine, is that his name?
Levine.
Levine, whatever.
His name.
His
yes.
name, yeah. And then 5-year-olds we're about to show you. Now,
We just offended a lot of people by saying
did we now?
his name.
That's
his
his name.
Bruce, Caitlyn's Jenner.
Oh,
Caitlyn,
Bruce.
his name is.
Anyway.
All right,
sorry.
back
Back to the story.
I
China.
digress.
The Chinese
China.
military is training kindergartners to handle firearms and fight like soldiers in boot camps across China this summer. So our kids are going to sex ed camps. Their kids are going to war.
Look at that. Look at
The
the
boot
pictures.
camps feature combat training for boys and girls. Hey, they have two genders over there. Boys and girls, with a wide variety of toy weapons, including knives, grenades, rifles, and shoulder-fired missiles, and require the kids to adopt military behavior, such as saluting, the school's social media posts show. Now, the rise in the militarization of China's youth appears, as you can very much so see, to be a 2019 Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, Central Committee's push for increased national defense education. And it's a related effort directing schools to hold national defense education activities in 2022. And it looks like they're doing a good job based on what I'm seeing right there. Those are the most militant 5-year-olds collectively that I have seen, I think, probably ever.
You know what, Katie, Patrick? China apparently is preparing their country for a future war. America, on the other hand, is preparing our country for extra bathrooms and
one heck of a drag show.
wow,
The best catwalk you've
drag
ever
cities,
seen.
and this is just this comparison is so shocking. Again, what would our great grandparents think? Sorry.
Exactly.
Look
Now,
at this.
Echoing what you said, Brandon Weichert is a U.S. Air Force consultant. He said there's sort of a get 'em while they're young mentality that has always been part of the communist ethos. Xi Jinping is trying to inculcate not just a patriotic fervor among the next generation, but I think he's trying to also create actual next soldiers for the inevitable campaigns that he plans on waging militarily. Here's the deal. You bring this back to, we talk about this stuff, just, the military, and, they're lowering the standards for fitness in the
Among
Army.
other things.
Fitness tests, that's one thing. Women can go into battle, or should they go into battle, whatever. Now we don't even know what a man and a woman are, and now it's the focus is on transgender rights in the military, and everyone has to take certain lessons to be able to, address someone who's transgender appropriately.
Yeah.
Look at what the enemies are doing. Look at what all these other militaries around the world are doing. China is, you think China's not paying attention to how pathetic we have become over here in terms of what our focus is?
They're watching.
They're watching, and they are enacting a new generation that it could very well take over.
Yeah. They're probably very aware of Bud Light, Target, all these other companies, corporations going woke, and what's happening in the military with the military recruiting. They're very aware. What you said was very interesting. The guy pointed out that communist nations, their philosophy is get the kids while they're young.
Yep.
That's exactly what we covered in the first story today with Planned Parenthood and the government-run education system working in tandem to get the kids. And I'm not saying they're all communists, but we've got to kind of take those blinders off our eyes and say it's in America.
This is why we need, Mom and Dad, you to now connect the dots. You need to see this basically progression of what our country is doing, where we have come from, and where we're going, and then see around how this affects the whole world.
Yep.
That is shockingly scary to think about, but it's necessary.
It's where we are.
But with that line of thinking, we're going to shift completely to a story that's just kind of fun.
I think it's cheesy.
I think it's a cheesy,
pretty
but it'll be
cheesy.
Gouda. How much cheese is considered too much when it comes to a burger? Well, wait until you see.
Oh, boy.
The latest creation that is just launched from Burger King, the Burger King kitchen. And let's just say that this new item would do pretty much just fine if it was in
the
our
cheese
home
state
state of Wisconsin. Stay with us.
Cheese.
If you have a smartphone, tablet, Roku, or Apple TV, consider downloading the Freedom Project Media app. It's 100% free and includes all of our weekly shows, plus lecture series, archive programs, and award-winning animated videos for families like the Presidential Minute, Battles of America, and Heroes of the West. Don't rely on the social media giants to keep you informed. Simply download the Freedom Project Media app from your app store and allow notifications. And we'll let you know when a new video is ready.
All right, leave it to Burger King, and the internet is losing it over their new sandwich. How many slices of cheese do you think is appropriate or even edible in a sandwich? Well, their new one is 20 slices of cheese. Oh my goodness, I think I need some prunes and juice and fiber just thinking about this. There, Katie, I dated myself on that one.
There you did.
So 20 slices of cheese, dubbed the real cheeseburger. And actually, it's a new menu item that will consist of the American cheese and the chain's signature sesame seed bun, sold for a reduced price of $109, whatever the Thai money system is, but it's roughly $3.10 American. That versus the regular cheeseburger that goes for $380 in Thailand. So they've dozens of TikTokers there. Look at that. Look at that. One bite and I'd be done. And they just go, wow, look at this. It's cheese. They're just enjoying that. So, Katie, I don't think this would fly even in Wisconsin. Unless you'd fry it, make cheese curds and throw that in the sandwich.
I don't know if it would melt. No, just to reiterate, it is in Thailand. I think you kind of said it, but this is the Burger King in Thailand. So everyone in America, don't just go running out trying to find this. Because here's the deal.
Yeah.
You can make that at home. It's Burger King. Did you see a burger anywhere? No. It's not even a fully grilled cheese because it's just kind of a stack of cheese slices. Don't worry. I did my due diligence, everyone, and I did a little research. Because I'm a researcher.
Tell us more.
If you are fancy pants out there and your American sliced cheese is Kraft variety, I'm too cheap for that. Growing up, we were too cheap for that, and now I just don't buy it. But a Kraft single has about 50 calories per slice. You know how many calories you're going to be consuming with that burger? Just the cheese is 1,000 calories.
I've been out of school for a while, but
bun,
20 times
add that
5.
bun in there, and that's if you consume the whole thing.
1,000 calories.
A Kraft singles, like if you go to the grocery store, that comes in different sizes, but in general, 24 pack. Generally speaking. Oh, you put
can
ketchup
dip it
on
in
it.
sauce.
Even more sugar in there. That's
Look at
great.
that.
Now, the Kraft singles pack is a 24 pack. This thing is a 20 pack. A Kraft singles pack costs about $5. Here's what you do. I'm the ever frugal, parsimonious person. I would go there, buy that cheese, take the whole thing home, save the bun, maybe use one slice, save the other 19, because if it's only about make a little money there, just a little bit.
I think,
Don't eat the whole thing at once, people.
I think in
Save
America, grilled cheese, not that big though, but I think that would go over a lot better than that. Just
for sure.
2
That is
buns
gross.
and 20 slices. But by the way, for cheese fanatics, customers can add extra slices if they want for 50 cents each. Actually, 2 extra slices for just 50 cents.
50 cents.
So
Upgrade.
if that
Supersize
many
it.
if that many slices of cheese is not enough for you, you can add 2 more. Oh my goodness. I'm feeling full now. Suddenly.
I'm feeling like a big old chunk of something just lodged right there. But hey, let us know your thoughts out there. Maybe we're being too harsh on the cheese. Maybe it's the future and we're the ones who are in the wrong. Let us know your thoughts. I'm very curious.
We've got to cut the cheese every now and then.
We do. We got to slice it real
Slice
thin.
and dice.
All right. Well, make sure you're out there right now hitting that like button if you're watching us on social media. And again, please send us your feedback. We want to know all about the cheese, but also about all the other stories that are truly important. Let us know your thoughts. Now, for David and myself, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And thank you for supporting this show. Until next time, stay educated.